My name is Doug Miland. My company is Miland Home Construction. We are here in Colleyville, Texas, doing a partial kitchen remodel. These folks have been in this house about 9 years, and they're ready for a fresh look. We're going to be replacing countertops, and I don't know if you can see, but these columns right here are real obtrusive, and we're going to be removing these columns, 2 of them, repairing the ceiling and repairing the countertops, and keeping this passover bar but having a countertop that goes all the way across. So this is the first installment in this project. It's going to be pretty involved. We've got some electrical that is coming down from the ceiling above in these columns that we're going to have to reroute through the floor to be able to get to this extended island over here. One of the things that I really like to do is help my customers to be comfortable in their own home, and a lot of that has to do with sealing off the area we're working in with plastic so it can help to contain dust as much as we can. We always put down floor paper on the floor so that everywhere we walk we can be comfortable that we're not damaging anything. We also, on a project like this, want to put plastic up all the way around so that we can get the cabinets masked off. That way the customer doesn't have to unload everything out of the cabinetry that we're really not going to be working on. So in this case, we're leaving everything in the cabinets. We're just going to mask it off so we don't allow any dust to get into the cabinets. And as soon as we're finished with all the rough construction, we'll take the plastic down again so that they can reuse or be able to use their kitchen when we're finished. We are back at this kitchen remodel project that I guess when you saw it last, it was all covered in plastic. What we've done here is do a little bit of a facelift to a house that's 9 or 10 years old in beautiful Colleyville, Texas. We replaced the granite countertops with new. We painted the kitchen island, a couple of details. One of the things that was a pretty big challenge on this project was there used to be a column right here and then another one over here, and we felt like that was obstructing the view to the living room. So we decided to take those columns out. Now the challenge in that was that we had electrical running down both columns with some lighting attached to those columns. So we had to delete some of the lighting in favor of these pendant lights that are here, and then run the electrical through the floor getting to this peninsula island that's here now. That's been the biggest challenge. Now, actually eliminating those columns meant that we needed to not only run our passover bar countertop beyond where the columns used to be, but also on the other side we had some panels, some wood panels that we had to recreate because those panels went around the columns that were there. And so without the columns, we had to recreate it, make it look like it had always been that way. All right here is where we used to have a column, and as you can see, there's these wood panels. The problem with the wood panels is that the wood panel went actually around the column that was there, so we had to take these wood panels apart and actually size one side smaller and then create a new side to match that side. In other words, recreate this whole side here to where it looked like it's always been this way. One of the problems in doing that is you can see this is painted and it also has a glaze on it, and matching the glaze is a real tall order. So what we ended up having to do is repaint and reglaze the entire side of this island. As you can also see, the column used to have an imprint there on the floor, and so we had to redo the wood floor where that column used to be. Pedro Herrera, who does wood flooring for me, solid wood floors, does a wonderful job. Really good guy, and he did a beautiful job here. You can't even tell where they used to be. As a matter of fact, on the right over here you'll see an area where we had to cut out a couple of strips of wood floor just to run our electrical wiring through the floor and then into this island. So that had to be repaired as well, and he did a beautiful job on that. Now, as you can see, where this column used to be, much like the floor, the ceiling sheetrock actually went around that column. So we not only had to take that column out, but we had to patch the area where the column used to be. And it's difficult to blend textures on a ceiling, especially when you have a really light texture like this. This is what they call an orange peel texture. So in essence, we have to fill that area with new drywall, we have to tape and bed and smooth it out, and then blend the texture, which is the critical element there. In this area, and then also the other area where the other column used to be. Once all that's done, then we have to primer those spots, and then we have to repaint the whole ceiling. And then our hope is that once all that's done, you can't even tell what was repaired. And I think we were successful here. And what is common to do today is to have an island that looks like a piece of furniture. And in order to achieve that, we want to either paint it or stain it differently from the rest of the cabinets, but also have the countertop look a little different as well. In this case, what we did was we took this existing island that had a stain on it, and we painted it black to make it look like a piece of furniture. Unfortunately, there's really no definitive kick plates or anything to make it look anything different than a piece of furniture. But what we wanted to do was to take the same countertop that we have in the rest of the kitchen and then have a little different flair to it. So what we did here was we actually took 3 cm granite, which is golden beaches actually, it's kind of rare, and we laminated the edge to make it 6 centimeters thick. So that lamination process simply is to take a strip off the end here and then turn it and then glue it to the bottom of what's here so that it makes it look twice as thick. And in this case, we gave it somewhat of a waterfall edge just to give it a little bit of a distinction that's different from the rest of the cabinets. And wanted to talk a little bit about the countertops. What we decided to use here was granite. It's 3 centimeter thick granite that's called Golden Beaches. It's beautiful granite, but one of the challenges with it is that it does have so many different colors in it. So where we have a seam, it just gets to be a little bit of a challenge on how you seam that and have the seam go away. One of the things that's difficult is to get the seam to where it planes well and you don't feel that seam when you drag your hand across it. The other thing is the coloring, and when you have some dark colors and light colors that come together in that seam, that the colors flow through the seam. And that's what helps the seam to disappear. Now the third thing right here that I want to focus on is that we have a passover bar, which is another level of granite rising above the lower granite. But what's really cool about this is that we were able to capture the coloring right in here, also right above it. So it makes it look like it flows uphill and then on a higher plane, if you will. And one of the things that we try to do is if there's some granite left over of a kitchen and there's enough to do a spare bathroom, then we try to do that a little cheaper than what we could if we were just trying to, do that as a standalone project. So in this case, this is what we did. As you can see, this granite is granite that was left over from the kitchen, and it works beautifully in this spare bathroom. But the cool thing about it was that the customer wanted a vessel sink, which, as you can see, works great with this. As it turned out, the vessel sink, the sink itself, was something that was left over from a previous project that my granite supplier had, and so he said, hey, I think if you want to do that, I've got the perfect vessel sink for you. And here it is. It works great. It works really, really well. And this is an example of, hearing the customer and what their needs are, explaining to, my granite fabricator what those needs are, and then him, actually listening to what the customer's needs are so that we can provide something really at about 1/3 the cost of buying a vessel sink like this new. And then the trough type of faucet here works great with that too, which is something that was picked up locally. So all this came together more or less at the end of the project, and it couldn't have worked out better.
For more information or a free quote, please call us at 817-269-2091 or visit our website at www.milandhomeconstruction.com.